We go again. It's been like 6 months since I've done an A-League video, but the season actually started last weekend because it's the A-Leagues now. But the league with the teams that used to be in just the A-League is starting this weekend. And I'm super excited because, you know, the cup run's been great. I put the cup alongside the A-League in terms of how much I enjoy it, but it's just sparse, isn't it? Like, there's not much actual football going on, and, you know, like, we're the only team that's enjoyed it. And Brisbane, maybe Wanderers, a quarterfinal's big for them, but, yeah, you know, a lot of teams don't get to enjoy it. It doesn't keep, despite 800 clubs playing in the Australia Cup, it doesn't satisfy everyone's footballing needs at the same time. So I'm glad the A-League's back, and I think it's going to be an absolutely huge season. I feel like we said this last year and they royally fucked it up, but this season is probably now the best they have been going into the A-League season. Obviously, you've got the Women's World Cup, which happened over the course of the off-season, and that was absolutely massive because it was in Australia. Huge attendances at games that were like 12 p.m. on a Tuesday and stuff like that, and, you know, all the big games sold out. So Australia showed that there is interest in football. Obviously, you know, big, well-marketed football, but you know, the A-League's not too far off that, so it's possible that it's probable that we'll be seeing a lot of people transition from, you know, seeing the Women's World Cup and really being involved in football for the first time to the A-League. Speaking of women's football as well, the A-League Women's is more popular than ever, and that goes alongside the Women's World Cup, but it's another reason, I think, why the A-League's going to be successful, because not only are, you know, there are 12 men's teams playing and, you know, performing at a decent level and at a level that, you know, the Euro snobs might not expect or whatever, but there's also women playing very entertaining football. We had some entertaining games over the weekend, and there's going to be plenty more throughout the season. So I think that's going to be a major attraction for a lot of people. Another thing that shouldn't be overlooked is the grand final protests have died out. Like, that's resolved, which it isn't, I don't think, but yeah, like, for the most part, it was just kind of a bit of a reactionary thing, and overall the grand final decision protests and all that have died out. So that's big for the A-League, and hopefully, you know, I mean, I would prefer legitimate respect as fans, but a successful league will do as well. Then you've also got expansion and second division hype coming this season. So that's like the fourth reason. And I think that's going to get a lot of different people involved. I don't think it's going to target one specific group like the grand final protests or women's success would. I just think it's going to make football in Australia a more appealing prospect for people that maybe are into European football, but, you know, aren't quite on board with Australian football. And even like fans of other codes of football, like Aussie rules, rugby league or whatever, maybe that could garner some interest, considering, you know, second division mainly isn't a big fixture in Australian sports. So, yeah, maybe that'll bring hype. But either way, that's something that's personally got me excited for the A-League, is those prospects. Then Paramount finally has pause and rewind. How good is that? Watch longs this season. Bang, bang. But yeah, no, Paramount hopefully getting better. It's the streaming service for our game. And, you know, we've had it for like 2 or 3 seasons now. And if the entire service from top to bottom wasn't atrociously dog shit, I think it'd be pretty good for the A-League, because, you know, it could have some stuff on it that other people not into the A-League might want to watch. And if we've got a streaming service that the wider public and not just football fans use, but its number one sports product that they show and sell is the A-League, then that's massive. So, yeah, Paramount's hopefully getting better this season. I'm pretty sure they've confirmed Pause and Rewind. And I also think they're giving out free Paramount memberships to little girls, which sounds noncy, but I think it's because of that women's football thing. So, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Paramount. That's the fifth reason. Then another one that I think's exciting, and they get a little bit more tedious from here. By the way, this is still the intro. There's no major marquees, I don't think, this off season. Like, I'm pretty sure I haven't overlooked anyone. There's no nannies. There's no Sturridges. There's no Hondas. Del Piero, Heskey, whatever. There's no major marquees, and I don't think, like, I feel like this has been the most absent the league's been over an off season of, you know, white trash signings that are just there to get bogans to come along because they've played with them on FIFA once. Like, it's the first time we've been absent from that, and I don't feel like the league's copped shit for it. So I think that's massive. And yeah, that'll definitely be one of the reasons why this A-League season could be the best ever. Another one's Griddle. I fucking love Griddle. It's been a whole off season. I've kind of stopped doing it daily, but whenever I've got a long shit or an annoying trip on the train, I'll hop on Griddle and play that. And I don't know, that just... it nourishes me. It nourishes my love of football playing that game because it's just a bit of fun and a bit of a test of your A-League knowledge early on in the day. It's fucking lovely. So, yeah, Griddle's going to be one of the reasons the A-League's so successful. Another one, again, actually, no, this one's fucking good. Potentially successful AFC campaigns, I think, could be big for the A-League this season. You've got MacArthur and Central Coast in the AFC Cup and Melbourne City in the AFC Champions League. City have a long way to go. I don't think they've been doing great in the Champions League, but I'm pretty sure they've won a game at least so far. Imagine them getting through and playing Ronaldo at Amy Park towards the end of the season. Which is another good thing about like the AFC campaigns is it's now linked up with the A-League. So if a team like Mariners or MacArthur do have success, it's not going to mean round of 16 in the off season and, you know, quarterfinals at the start of next season. It's going to be a final at the end of this season. And I think, you know, when you've watched a whole season of football and you get the opportunity to, you know, go to fucking Vietnam or Saudi Arabia for a final, if it happens, you take it. So I think the AFC aligning with the A-League and having 3 teams, 2 in the AFC Cup, is potentially going to boost the A-League this season. Like, not in terms of new viewership, really. Maybe a bit, because, you know, it does put us on a bigger stage. But just in terms of the overall, like, footballing experience, it'll be great to see some teams competing in Asia later on in the season. And then the final 2 are great stadiums are coming back. Obviously, Suncorp came back last season, but there were some atrocious games that were still at Redcliffe. So yeah, it's good to finally be rid of that Redcliffe shithole, and have Suncorp back. I know it's big, I know it's problematic in its own way, but it's a million times better than Redcliffe. HBF Park as well, is, you know, going to be back regularly, I'm pretty sure. Macedonia Park, it was interesting, I guess, but it just wasn't fit for purpose for the A-League. And then you've also got like Western United's training ground, I think, is going to be used for some of their matches this season. So point is that I feel like we've got better stadiums all around the league than we ever have done in the past, or at least in the past 5 or 6 years. Like Sydney FC, new stadium. Wanderers, relatively new. Adelaide, upgraded. Amy Park's always a fucking awesome stadium. Brisbane, back playing in Brisbane. Who could have fucking thought? I get to go to Wellington's for the first time ever, so I'll be able to let you know if that's any good. And then, yeah, you've got the other ones as well. But my point is that we've got just a great lineup of footballing stadiums, and hopefully, you know, they can keep the turf in good condition and, you know, get loads of fans in, and then off we go to being the biggest footballing country in the world. But yeah, great stadiums is another reason why I think the A-League will thrive this season. And just a little personal one that I thought of as well, like right as I was about to record this video. I feel like management's coming back in a big way. Like, in my opinion, and if you haven't watched any of my previous fucking bullshit, I think the A-League actually got crapper over the last 2 years. And it kind of perplexed me because I could happily admit that there were also, like, better younger players in the A-League than ever before. But I think we saw a real drop-off in management. Like, Warren Moon managed like 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons in the A-League, which is just a joke because he's not really a manager. He's a fat fucking caretaker. And, you know, Ross Aloisi, I mean, he's also new, but so far it looks like he's trying to build something at Brisbane, and we'll get to see how that pans out. But, you know, Stadge came back. He's replaced Zadkovic. And yeah, that's about it. It's not really a solid point. I know that fat retard Sydney FC had's gone, and instead we've got Steve Corrigan back. I don't know who was managing us before, but must have been an impersonator. Anyway, point is, that wasn't a good point, but the other ones were. And I think, yeah, we've got everything going for the league this season, and that really begs the question, how will the FA or the APL or one or more of the clubs fuck it up? I'm not going to answer that this video because, fortunately, I do not know and I haven't been conceiving how it could happen. So, yeah, at the moment, things look bright as ever, and I think the A-League's going to be massive this season. Let's talk about this season. I'm going to also be doing my table predictions and my round 1 predictions this video. The table predictions are a bit of a joke, because I really just don't know about a lot of A-League sides, and I think it's been getting that way the past couple of years, where it's like, fuck off, you're just guessing. Like, you really are. Like, I think there's about 3 teams that I can have a clear understanding of, and then the rest of them, it's just a fucking guess. So, I'm just gonna run through it, like, as quickly as possible. I don't really want to spend more than, like, 30 seconds on any team, and I just want to get to the round 1 predictions because, as ever, but even more so, table predictions are a bitch. So we'll start with Sydney FC. For me, are going to be finishing first, and I reckon we're going invincible. I think we have a great squad. We've addressed areas that needed improvement. The only position I think we're lacking is we still don't have a great backup centre back if Rodwell gets injured. And I would have liked another deep midfielder, even though Holman's looked good. But I'm rather confident we're going invincible and winning 2 more trophies this season. Let's move on to second, which is Wanderers. And I think they were a decent side last year. They got a bit lucky, but I reckon they're going to kick on. They've got 2 strikers or 2 good goal scorers, it seems, in Antonsen and Borello. They were quite solid defensively last year, except when it came to finals. And, you know, they just won games that they shouldn't be winning. And I've always said, you know, if that happens 1 or 2 times, it's luck. But if it happens regularly, then it's, you know, the sign of champions. And obviously they won't be that. But I think they get results, and I think also a bit of rigging will take place, and they'll come second in the league. Then at number 3, I've got Melbourne City because they're washed, and I kind of mean that legitimately. I think they've still got a great group of players. Vidicic, is it? Yeah, it's Rado Vidicic, right? Is it? Who the fuck is their manager? I'm pretty sure it's Vidicic. If I've got that wrong, I'm bleeping it out and dubbing over. But either way, yeah, Melbourne City are washed, and it's because they've been so good. Like, I just think they can't keep winning everything. They lost the grand final 6-1. They're going to hang their heads low. They've got loads of games. They made it to the semis of the Cup. They've got at least 6 games in Asia. And it's going to be hard for them to then go out and be the best over the course of a 26-game season when, you know, they're going to have played like 10 extra games compared to some teams. Point is, I have them at 3rd. They're still a final side. Number 4, Brisbane. They look neat in the Cup. I watched their games against Sydney United, Western Sydney, and obviously Sydney in the final, which we won. And they just look neat. Ross Aloisi looks like he's cooking. I think they're still lacking some players. Like, what was it? Waddingham was the one getting them goals in the Cup, and that's great, but he's a literal child, I'm pretty sure, so who knows how he's going to do in the A-League. We'll see how it pans out, but yeah, for me, they looked really good in the Cup, and going off Cup form is retarded, but I'm going to do it anyway. Then Western United, also cooking, I think. They've got the other Aloisi brother, and I think they're going to be rather good this season. They've got a pretty haphazard squad, but they're going to have Penna at the center of it, and I think Penna is fucking great. We'll see how he does in his second season in the A-League, but I think he's going to do well for Western, and that's really what, like, if they can sort out their defense and, you know, use their cobbled together forwards with, you know, a brilliant marquee or two, that's just very Western United, and, you know, with them potentially finally having a unique home ground, maybe they could get some home advantage for the first time ever too. Then at number 6, I've got Melbourne Victory, and it's literally because they can't be that shit. It's not possible. I've looked at their squad. I love laughing at Tony Popovich, but he's a good fucking manager, man. And I don't know why they were shit last season. It perplexes me. I guess Nanny was last season. That could have been a fuck around. But yeah, I just feel like they're too good. And I hope this is wrong. I think this is actually, it's very possible that this is wrong, but I just think they're too good to not be making finals this season. And yeah, I've got them at 6. Then at number 7, I've got Perth Glory because of Alan Stajic. I kind of went on that spiel about managerial failures over the A-League in the past couple of seasons, and I just feel like Stajic is going to be awesome for Perth. Like, I think he's going to take them levels above where the quality of their players are, and he's going to get results for them almost immediately. I think finals feels a little bit too soon, but I've put him up there in contention for sure. Then at number 8, I've got Central Coast. It's like, okay, well done, but you've lost your manager again. You've lost players again. Surely you could do well. I'm not doubting that it's possible, but all signs point to them being a little bit washed. Then Adelaide, similar thing. They've lost their literal one player. They've got the gay one, and they've got the one that wins the matches, and then they have various retards that do other things, but none as effective as those other two. And yeah, without Craig Goodwin, Adelaide are shit. This isn't reactionary because he had a good season. This is something I've been saying since the Marco Kurz era. Adelaide are a boring, fucking useless side with the same problems that have haunted them for like 6 years. I'm pretty sure the only season they didn't make finals was when they had Riley McGree. Instead of Craig Goodwin, like Goodwin went off to Saudi for the first time, and yeah, they didn't make finals. I think it's going to happen again. They're going to be fucking atrocious this season, but they'll still get some results. Then Wellington, same as Central Coast, but on a lesser scale, right? Like, Wellington have been absolutely impressive. Feels like they've been punching above their weight, and I just feel like it's one season too many. Then at number 11, I've got MacArthur, and they're also winning the AFC Cup because it'd be the most hilarious thing ever for a team to get the wooden spoon, win the Australia Cup, get the wooden spoon, get into Asia for the first time, win in Asia, and get close to the wooden spoon again. I think it'd be brilliant. Just entertaining as fuck. So yeah, MacArthur at 11th, and then also, because they're shit, they're in 11th. And then at number 12, we've got Newcastle because their club's a shambles and people will be calling for them to be kicked out of the league at the end of the season. But yeah, those are my table predictions. Again, not too serious or anything. Just kind of wanted to throw them out there. And now we finally move on to round 1, which will be about 3 days away from when I release this video. So get hype. The first game, which hopefully I'll be doing a live stream for, is Adelaide United versus Central Coast. As we mentioned before, can Adelaide survive without Craig Goodwin? I don't think so. I think the only thing that'll be going for them this game is that they will have home advantage, and that could affect Central Coast because Cooper's Stadium can be, a pretty hostile stadium, it seems. But they played recently. They played at the end of last A-League season, so, a few games ago for both teams. And for me, in those games, the Mariners smashed Adelaide. It could be time for revenge, but I think Central Coast are a better side. I think they have the number on Adelaide, and they will be winning 2-0 on Friday night. Then we move on to a big Saturday of 3 fixtures. The first one is MacArthur FC versus Brisbane. And my prediction for this is 3-1 Brisbane. I think Brisbane look like a good side and MacArthur don't. But I did just want to say about this game that this is the real test of how good the A-League is. Like, you've got Sydney versus Victory, a big blue on a Saturday night at the SFS with plenty of notice. If that gets a big attendance, whatever. If this gets like 6,000 people at it, it'll be a MacArthur home record probably, and that's where I will be impressed. If you can draw people to these wank-ass fucking... Did I say ass? Wank-ass fixtures. That's success is my point. Anyway, next up, between the MacArthur Brisbane and the Big Blue is a Melbourne Derby that's not really a Melbourne Derby. Melbourne City versus Western United. It's hard to predict the result here because Sydney made both of these sides look fucking shit over the course of the cup run. But I think City are a better side than Western United and therefore have them winning 2-1. Then we move on to the Big Blue. As I said before, Sydney FC are going to go invincible this season. If Fabio Gomez and Lacerda start, we're going to have our best squad available to us, and we will win. Because even though I've kind of predicted a bit of a bounce back for Melbourne Victory this season, I've predicted the fucking rebound of the gods when it comes to Sydney FC. And kind of expect it too. Like, we look really good. And yeah, I just think we'll comfortably beat Melbourne Victory, who have also had a poor pre-season, by the way. They lost 3 out of their 4 friendlies against A-League sides, as well as in the Cup to Newcastle on penalties. Although they did have a sexy comeback in that game, so maybe that's something. But really, I'm going to be predicting and just keeping it sane. 5-0 Sydney. We're the biggest club in the fucking country. We're coming for our trophies, and it's going to start against Victory on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, we've got Wanderers versus Wellington. I think there's high expectations on Western Sydney here. People have been amping them up. I think, particularly in fucking July and shit, I heard people saying Wanderers were favourites. And all that means is that there's more chance that they'll choke, which is something that they do. But if we're talking about it without just trying to shit on the Wanderers, they're a good side and they should be beating Wellington. My only concern for them is that their midfield is looking a bit worse. And I think that could be an area where Wellington succeed. They've obviously lost Nieuwenhof to Scotland. Milos Ninkovic, who was in there a fair bit last season, is older and not going to be able to, kind of control the ball in the midfield as well. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And Josh Brillante, he is dog shit. So, yeah, I don't know. They could suffer in the midfield, but maybe they've made some signings that I just haven't accounted for and they'll cover them. But Western Sydney are favourites is the point, and that's why I'm predicting 2-1 Wellington, because Western Sydney choke. It's what they do. And then finally, to end off the weekend with a game that I probably won't even watch. I'll try, but it's a fucking Sunday night, man. Perth Glory versus Newcastle. I have a feeling... Just a feeling that Perth are going to fucking slaughter Newcastle in this match. I feel like Stajic is going to have them revitalized. Newcastle are going to be ready to be shit. They're tactless, they're crap, and they're playing away from home in a place that is traditionally tougher to go because I'm assuming time differences and long travel times, but either way, I'm pretty sure it's statistically tougher to go. And, yeah, I think Newcastle will struggle and Perth will get a 3-0 win. But like with the tape, actually, you know what? Fuck it. All these predictions are going to happen. I'll throw a fiver on them all going together. But yeah, guys, that has been the first A-League show of the new season. We'll see how consistently it holds, but I'm quite determined to at least get one video, one general broad rant to you guys every week. So, yeah, thanks for watching this far if you have. Thanks for watching at all if you have. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week for a bit of a review and then the same shit. Anyway, see ya.